guys? Welcome back to Pure EVil MMA. As always, I am your host, Evil Eddie from MyMMAnews.com, and I have a very special guest with us here today. Joining us once again on Pure EVil MMA, we got Raufeon Stots. What's going on, Raufeon? How you doing?
Woo. What's up, man? What's up? What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. Not as good as you're doing right now, though. You've been making a huge splash. I know that, you've come across some obstacles, and we'll get to that. But nonetheless, You're making a big name for yourself. You're a part of one of the biggest camps in mixed martial arts, period. Matter of fact, I was tuning into Duke's Instagram Live, and there you go, running across the screen on a track with some of the bigger names. So, how's that camp going right now? I know that you've had a fight fall off at the end of last year, but how are things going right now?
Man, things are going good. Couldn't be better, We're just going, racing toward the top, at Raufeon Stots. We just keep getting better and keep getting stronger, and the good thing about Raufeon Stots is everybody's getting better together. So, we got better training partners and better looks, and everybody's just on the same page, working as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
So one thing I got to bring up with you, you're one of the guys that everybody talks about, along with Jose Shorty Torres, who recently just made it inside the UFC. He's another guy that had to do, all these obstacles at Titan FC, became the double champ. Have you been following him, and what do you think, of his first two performances?
Yeah, I've been following him. I've been a fan of Shorty Torres. One of my teammates actually trained with him, Josh Smith. I thought I was going to be able to fight him a while back, but we were in two different organizations. He's an awesome athlete, man. Got to know he just suffered a tough loss, but I'm sure he'll be back and he'll learn from his mistakes.
So you've kind of been in the same position. Like I said, all the eyes are on you, and you're trying to get back on your feet. But let's start with the most recent event. There was a canceled fight that you were supposed to have. What happened there?
Yeah, so I was going to fight LFA. It was a while back. I forget the date. It was
like December of last year. Was your last fight, and then June 1st was the fight that got canceled.
Yeah, I fought December, and then the fight got canceled June 1st. And, what happened was I was hearing word that I was pretty sure that I was going to get a spot on the Contender. But that ended up falling through for whatever reason. It didn't work out. They didn't get my name in time or whatever it was. So that fell through. And the LFA heard that I had the Contender fight, so they pulled me from that fight before, the fight was finalized, and then I ended up having nothing, pretty much.
So that's got to be really...
I was supposed to fight a kid that I had, which I was kind of excited about because I was fighting a kid that I had fought as an amateur, but he was undefeated as a pro. But he ended up fighting like a week before. But like they canceled my fight, he ended up fighting a week before and losing to somebody who I had beat also. But yeah, so that's what happened. I was pretty much thinking I was gonna get on the Contender series, but it didn't happen.
Why do you think it didn't happen? Why do you think it didn't happen? Do you think it's because, the whole Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series thing, which we're going to talk about in a second? Do you think that may be a reason, or what do you think?
What? Say it again?
Why do you think you weren't able to get onto the Contender Series?
Oh, I think they already had their slot.
Oh, okay.
Away field or whatever, and yeah, and I'm thinking they have like a kind of an A side and a B side, and they didn't want me to kind of screw up what they had going. So yeah.
Well,
at least that's what I think.
You're a perfect contender for what they're doing there. I mean, they brought in guys like Nick Newell, who has like over 20 fights or close to 20 fights, but you were 9-1 right now. And I remember when you were on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, it was like, oh man, finally Raufeon's getting his shot here, especially after. let me say this before we even talk about that. Man, one of the biggest things that sticks out about you, and I interviewed you before this, you beating Robert Emerson was a huge win in your book.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's a dangerous person.
And I believe he was, trying to make it to the double title that night, and you held him back from that, which has been like a trend lately.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to be the double champ.
No, he had the double title. He was like a double champ. He was a champ at 35 and 45, and he was just defending his belt at 35.
And I had him on the show right before that fight that you guys had, and he had nothing but amazing things to say about you, which is one of the reasons why he wanted the fight. He was like, this is a young, up-and-coming guy who's probably going to make it in the UFC soon. So if I can show Dana and those guys that I'm still at their level and with some of these guys that they have their eyes on, it will prove a lot. And, man, you just threw the wrench in the works there.
Yeah, I did. And he was a awesome competitor, a fierce competitor, and that was a good confidence building fight for me to have, my confidence almost shot too high. I feel like after that fight, because I felt like stuff was just gonna happen, and I stopped especially that fight after that. I kind of got complacent, not believing everybody was dangerous enough to stop me, so I always got to keep that that edge in my mind that everybody's good at something, and I gotta be prepared to just beat the crap out of everybody.
So in case nobody knows, let's jump into what happened after you beat Robert Emerson. Dana White was like, all right, let's give Raufeon a shot. So how did you find out about that? How did you find out that Dana White was going to be there for that fight?
I was at a UFC fight. So Victory FC had sent me out to Kansas like right after that fight just to enjoy the fights because they had somebody who was gonna go, but they fell out, so they actually wanted someone to go. So we drove like a couple hours out to Kansas to watch Demetrius fight Wilson Reyes, and Robert Whitaker fought Jacare, and Timmy Elliott fought. But yeah, so we were out there, and Tyron was in the. I think he was commentating before, or he was just in the crowd or whatever. So I texted him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm here too. If you want to hang out later or whatever." And so he found me in the crowd, and then he pretty much pulled some strings and had me come down to like ringside seating or whatever. And I ended up sitting right next to Dana, and we ended up talking. And he asked me if I wanted to fight the next month in New Jersey for his the Looking for the Fight deal. And I was like, yeah. And that's how it happened.
So then going into that fight, was the tension high? Like, obviously, that's like your shot.
My tension wasn't high, and I feel like I was too comfortable, and I was too I say confident, but I was too sure of myself, I was just the way I was looking at it, I was like, I'm gonna go in there, and eventually I'm gonna wear this kid down. Eventually I'm gonna beat this kid. I mean, I'm better than this kid, so eventually it'll show. Instead of going there with the mindset of I need to take this opportunity, I need to go prove. I still got stuff to prove. I got to show that in the ring. I got to prove that I'm the best every time I step out there. So I think that was I think that mindset is what killed me, because I came out there kind of, relaxed. And that's another thing. When I'm facing people, I know everybody's going to be kind of tense, or it's a lot of anxiety going into these fights. Like in the first rounds, first couple minutes or whatever, feeling out. So people are a lot jerkier, a lot, got a lot more nervous energy. So I need to be ready for that, and I need to be on point, and I just wasn't. So I got caught.
And the fight ended in 15 seconds. I mean, I was absolutely in disbelief, but you know what, man? This is going to help you along the way, because you're facing adversity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it wasn't like you shied away from it either. You were like, you owned up to it, and you got right back in there, and then you got a win over a guy who was 6-1. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
What the hell is it? Arnold
Bardon.
Yeah, and you got the win in the first round, so it's like right back on track here. So
yeah, exactly. And that's what I wanted to do. Some people or some of my management was like that. They wanted me to take time, which I'm. As far as like my confidence, I've taken losses before. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do when I put my mind to it. So like stuff like that don't faze me, And that's as we see with Demetrius Johnson. I mean, that's what shows true champions. True champions don't whittle or wilt away in face of adversity. That all that does is make them stronger. So, you know, that's what I was just here to prove. You know, I'm still dangerous, and I'm still ready to fight my way to a world championship.
And you know what? Now I'm seeing our buddy Bilal Muhammad, who actually has an upcoming fight again. He's trying to get you in the UFC as well. Like,
Bilal is his man. Bilal wants everybody on his team to win, which is, you know, that's why I love Bilal. You know, and he's a big, what do you say? He's a vocal Twitter person, and I love it, man. Every time he posts something, you know, I kind of laugh at it, but I'm also like, hey, I'm ready. Like, I'm here, you know, because I feel like my shot is, like, right around the corner, you know. I just signed with LFA, and I got a fight coming up with LFA. But I feel like my shot is, like, right around the corner, so I'll be ready for it.
And do you feel like, you know, like I was saying at the beginning of the interview, we've seen people like Shorty Torres do so many things until he was given the shot. I feel like a lot of these guys get their chance when they're filling in on a short notice fight. Like somebody in the UFC falls out. Like, you got to be on that list for a call, right?
Yeah, I think I am, you know. And something just happened recently. Moscow, Pure EVil, I think it was, fell out. And I'm hopefully getting in touch with my manager and Duke and them and seeing if I can push for that too. You know, I'm willing to travel across the world to throw some hands. You know, so
and
hopefully.
Yeah, and it's over in Russia to top it all off. Like, that would be an amazing trip.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome to go fight in Russia. That'd be tight as hell. Russia? I've never been to Russia. I've been to Turkey wrestling. Jeez. I've never been to Russia.
So another big thing here is obviously you're training with Duke. How's that going right now, and what is he saying for you to do with the game plan? Obviously, you said you got this fight coming up, but, you know, does he also think, like, your shot's right there, right around the corner? You know,
yeah, I mean, Duke is the ultimate mastermind as far as when it comes to, like, building fighters and building skill sets. And he says I'm right there. I just got to stay the course and just continue to improve. And he always says, like, we're not training for the fight ahead of us. We're training for that shot at the world title. You know, that's what we all are striving for. So that's what we got to be training for. And so it keeps me motivated too, because, you know, I haven't fought for a while, like 7 months maybe, 8 months now going on. But yeah. So and it keeps me keeps my spirits high, you know, in the times of, you know, fight lull, because, you know, it's hard to train hard when you don't have, you know, anybody in mind. But if I'm thinking I'm always training for, I'm putting in work for that championship down the line, that world title championship. So yeah, Duke is awesome, and he's on the same page. He feels like I'm right there. He also says my name's on the short list. You know, they know about me. There was a couple fights that I could have replaced me, but they maybe went with different options. But yeah, he thinks I'm right there too.
So listen, before we end our interview here, you're talking about aiming for that championship title, and you're at bantamweight right now. We just saw the bantamweight title be defended by TJ Dillashaw. Were you able to catch that fight, and what did you think about it?
I did catch that fight, man, and Dillashaw looked amazing, you know, like he has in his past. But since he's been in the UFC, you know, he's continued to improve, and Cody, you know, he made the same mistake kind of that he made the first fight. But yeah, I mean, and TJ picked up on it, you know. I mean, as you fight these high level fights, you know, it's a game of inches, and he did a good job of recognizing what inch to take, you know. That's why he's a champ.
So what do you think's next for TJ? Would you like to see him fight maybe Henry Cejudo? Would you like to see him fight Cruz in a rematch?
I would like him to see him fight
Marlon. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight. I think that would be a very interesting fight. Cejudo, I feel like Demetrius deserves a rematch if he, you know, if he wants it. On the other hand, Cejudo, Wants to make a big. He wants a big payout while he has the belt, and he can't. You can't say he doesn't deserve it too. But that's what I would want to see. I would rather see. Moraes or Marlon versus Dillashaw.
And you kind of mentioned it right there. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, man, he's defended the title 11 times. If anyone deserves it, everyone's saying it should be him.
Right.
Why would there be a reason not to?
Exactly. And granted, everything is good with his body or whatever. I watched him on Instagram say he's getting an MRI. So hopefully everything is healed up with that. And if it doesn't, then more power to Cejudo. Going, if you can go up and you can sell or you can make a lot of money fighting or going after the double champ or triple crown, more power to you, But I just, it's hard for me to root against DJ,
My last question to you here, it's the most popular thing that everyone's talking about. Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. What do you think are the keys to victory for Conor? What are the keys to victory for Conor McGregor? How does he get past Khabib?
Oh man, Conor gotta stay on his feet. If he gets dragged into the ground, it's gonna be like a lion in a shark tank, because Khabib will just drown him on the ground, Granted, I'm not saying Conor's bad on the ground, he's sufficient and he's good, but Khabib is just on another level when it comes to grappling and ground and pound. He's just on another level. On the other hand, Conor is, he's who he is on his feet. He's a monster there, and if Khabib, I feels like he's confident enough to strike with him, Conor can catch him and he can drop him. So,
who's gonna win this fight? Who are you aiming for here?
And I'm gonna go Khabib, man, just cause he's it's hard when somebody is tenacious about a takedown. It's hard to I feel like it's hard to stop if you're not equipped to stop him. I don't think he's got the tools to stop Khabib to get him to the ground.
So
we'll see. You never know with Conor, man. You never know.
Yeah, I think everyone's at the edge of their seat. They're saying it's going to be one of the biggest, fights of all time. We'll see if that's the truth or not. But Raufeon, one of the most exciting things about the sport is watching guys on the come up. And right now, you are a guy that I've had my eye on for the past few years here. So I can't wait to see you inside the octagon. It's going to be another celebration, just like when Shorty got his shot, when Matt Bessette got his. So it's only a matter of time here. So before we let you go here, is there anything you want to say to the audience?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just everybody stay positive, and help out our fellow man. And just so y'all know, I got a kid, Clarence Bubba, and I'm just living that daddy life and training, That's all.
Well, what does that change for because everyone that has a kid, they're like, man, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it has, and it's hard to,
because it's a selfish sport. It's a selfish sport,
exactly. It's a selfish sport. And at the same time, like I feel like I'm being selfish for him. Like I'm thinking about him, like a lot of the, when I'm out there running, when I got like one more lap to go, I'm thinking of because I feel like in order to be a good father or whatever, I got to be good, or I got to be excellent in everything I do, now, and I can't cut corners because I feel like I got somebody watching me all the time, and that's just, that's motivating, and it's daunting, and it's a whole new thing.
And there is no safety net either. Like, this is your job. This is your career. You're right there. So many guys get to this position that you're at. They get frustrated and fall off when they're so close, and it's so hard to see.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see that you're remotivated. Once you got that loss, that freak accident loss in my book, you jump back. You're doing all the right things. You're in the right place. So it's only a matter of time, like I said, and I really am so honored to have you back on my show. Next time you're on, you'll be, under the contract, we'll assume.
Hell yeah. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Yes, sir.
Raufeon, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you follow Raufeon at Raufeon Stots on Twitter. What is your Instagram? What's the gram tag? Is it the same thing?
Raufeon Stots. Yep, Raufeon Stots, one word. Same Twitter.
Just want to double check. Raufeon, thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
All right, man. You good.
All right, so I got another interview coming for you guys right now. Stay tuned. And my mind is fucking blown right now. And let me tell you why. Logan and Jake Paul, the YouTubers, are saying that they think they can hang inside the fucking octagon. Once again, these are YouTubers. If you don't know who Logan and Jake Paul are, you are probably under a rock, or you've probably never been on YouTube, which is wondering why you are watching my channel. Anyway, nonetheless, these guys are from the Disney Channel. Let's take a listen to what they said earlier on this week about fighting inside the octagon. And the reason being, I didn't watch this whole clip. The second I saw it, I ran to this seat and set this up to do, because I'm at a loss for words. I think it's so crazy how many people out there think they can step inside the octagon with some of the best. And the reason being, like, I watched the first 10 seconds, and I'm about to play it here for you guys. Reason being is that they're athletic. The fuck? Yeah, so was I in high school. You did high school wrestling? Cool, bro. What? What are you talking about? Check this out. This is brought to you by Drama Alert. And a little quick backstory here, in case everybody was like, these are YouTubers. Well, they are doing a very cringe-worthy press conference, which really is ripping off Mayweather McGregor. You can check out some of the clips. If I wasn't doing this live, I'd say insert clip here, but we're not doing that. We're doing it live. So the best thing we can do is check out Keemstar's drama report and react to it. So let's check it out.
Drama Alert Nation, I'm your host, Keller Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Our first story is coming from Jake and Logan Paul. Have these two lost their goddamn mind? I can't even believe this, but TMZ caught up with the Pauls and interviewed them, where they said they wanted to be UFC fighters. Like, for real, like in the octagon. Roll it.
I'm happy Keemstar said an octagon.
I want
for real?
Yeah, bro, I wrestled my whole life.
You want to do? Oh, you guys be down to do this sort of stuff for real? For real?
For real. Yeah, absolutely, bro. There's no reason I can't. I literally did athletics my whole life. Like,
would you jump in the octagon like and do a real?
He's more of a MMA fighter. Hey, Dana White, you're watching this, bro? Pick a fighter for me, dude. Pick a fighter for me late next year.
Like,
first off, let me stop it right there. Are these kids out of their mind? I know that they're like my age, but even I have somewhat of a sense on me where I know, dude, you wouldn't last a second in a regional fight with an 0-0 amateur fighter right now. I doubt you were going to be able to. There is no fucking way, man. There is no fucking way. I'm glad you have confidence in yourself. First off, you didn't even beat KSI or Deji yet. And if I'm building up hype to this, like, if there is, like, maybe I won't lie. Listen, I will not lie. I'm going to give you my pure and honest thought. Remember, without evil, there's no purity. So I am a little interested in Logan and Jake Paul. Don't let me get too much shade thrown, because I know a lot of you guys out there, because I've been doing some new videos, branching off from MMA, and this is kind of, obviously related to MMA, but, I've been following Adam22. I've been following Fousey and FouseyTube and all of that. And, of course, Logan and Jake Paul right there in the mix with all of them. So I've been following along with their their presser and this fight that's going on, and I can tell it's actually getting really heated. Like, when I went into it, I was thinking, all right, this is definitely going to be scripted, but, you know, they were getting pretty pissed off. The dad was getting pissed off, and I know that he's playing games, and maybe I'm just, like, feeding into it all. Like, oh, is this real? Or is it... Like, yeah, I'm a little interested, and I do want to see how this fight goes down. If it's anything like a celebrity, like fucking boxing, though, I'm just throwing the towel. But I am interested in seeing, you know, how they do. But to call it a fucking UFC fighter, dude, you're out of your mind right now, dude. What are you thinking? Let's continue this interview. This is just ridiculous.
Call someone out. Who would you want to fight in the UFC? CM Punk?
Okay, all right, I get that. This is okay. All right, this is bad. This is really bad, and this is what a lot of us were really worried about. They see somebody like CM Punk go in there. First off, did you see CM Punk go in there? He lost both fights. He lost both fights. Mickey Gall, great UFC fight. You wouldn't last half the time that CM Punk lasted in there. Okay, take CM Punk. Yeah, he's athletic. That was his excuse going into it all. He did WWE, worked out every day. I'm sure he was in better shape than the Paul brothers, right? He trained for 2 years before stepping in the octagon and got smoked. Got legit smoked. Wicked, lights out. He came back, did another fight. Same thing happened against another 0-1 fighter by the name of Mike Jackson. Not only that, he got embarrassed on national television, where it could have just been ended any second, but Mike the Truth Jackson wanted that TV time. This is just, let me say this, they're getting a reaction on me, and I guess that's what this is for, content-based. So here's Keemstar's reaction.
CM Punk, okay, I don't know, CM Punk had a bunch of UFC fights. I think he lost all of them. Like, maybe Logan has a chance. But that's when Jake starts talking in this interview, where it gets really fucking crazy.
And before we jump into that, and I have no idea, because like I said, I haven't watched this whole interview. But okay, if the UFC wants to do more of these celebrity fights, Logan and Jake Paul is probably actually a better idea than having CM Punk ever fight again. Or, you know, like, if you know anything about the Logan, the Paul brothers here, and you've seen the fucking press conference they put on, oh, I wish I could roll the clip for you guys right now. I really do. Because the place was packed. These kids were going sick. Cheering on. They were into it. They think it's real. There was more hype. There's a lot of hype in this. I'm not even, like, you guys think this is a joke, and it's not a joke. These guys are actually supposed to be fighting, boxing, and there's a lot of people that are behind it. Let's see what Jake Paul had to say about this.
Roll. Would you fight in the UFC, or
I'd fight someone.
You're just along for the ride?
I'd fight someone. I want to. I think it'd be dope to see one of us fight McGregor.
That's what I was.
Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Logan and Jake, you've lost your damn minds. You've lost your minds. Oh my God. Just, I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say to that. I really don't. That is just fucking ridiculous. Dude, I was going to say the same thing. We should have fight Conor McGregor. Dude, okay, if you're joking in your living room about that, like, they can't believe in themselves about that. There's no fucking way. I get the content base. You got to remember, these are YouTubers. They know what to say to hype people up. They got me the fuck out of my seat to sit here and do a video about it. So there's a win for them there. Keemstar and Drama Alert is reporting on it. Huge win there. Let's see how many views this video has. It was released today. 1.1 million views. 1.1 million views. Let's roll the rest of this.
If you got one of you guys fight McGregor,
if the Floyd thing happened, if the Floyd thing happened, you know.
Hell no. Nope.
Thank you, Keemstar. Thank you.
No. The Pauls are canceled. Like McGregor getting in the ring with... No. First of all, this will never happen. McGregor would never do this with the Pauls, ever. And the Pauls, either one of them, they wouldn't have a chance. One of them would probably die. Like, actually die. Like...
Let me say this, too. I could see Conor McGregor responding to the Paul brothers, because it's great PR. These kids, Logan and Jake Paul, they reach a lot of people out there. So it would be kind of cool for Conor McGregor to entertain the idea, but there's no fucking way. And I could listen to this. I could see Dana White in the mind that he has, especially with the WME era right now, where we all know it's just about entertainment right now. That is all the UFC is about. They're just about, not about who's winning their fights. They're about who has the most Twitter followers and who's doing the most on social media. They're literally putting their fighters through social media classes. That's what's going on inside the UFC. Not only that, but they're handing out USADA stickers. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. This is getting fucking ridiculous, and I would not be surprised because the UFC has a track record of entertaining shit like this. So let's roll the rest of this tape.
No. Like, the fact that these words even came out of their mouth is insane to me. Jake and Logan Paul would never fight Conor McGregor. They would not do that. Actually, now that I think about it, if one of them did fight McGregor, they would make a ton of money. 100% they would lose, but they would make a ton of money.
First off, Keemstar, you're wrong with that one. They'll probably make more money, honestly, fighting KSI and Deji in boxing. If the WBC or boxing, you're going to make more money there. Trust me. UFC's going through some difficult times. Yeah, they have a big star like Conor McGregor right now, but let's take Conor McGregor out of the picture. Who is everyone going to be talking about? I'll give you a second. I can't think of anyone else outside that's going to catch this much attention. That everyone, my little sister, my father, everyone knows who Conor McGregor is right now. Could they name another UFC fighter? CM Punk. That's it. That is literally it. And that just shows you. That literally shows you where the sport is at right now. I honestly think if Logan and Jake Paul wanted to make the most money, and they're probably making more money than... No, let me rephrase that. They are definitely making more money than any UFC fighter, or a good 80% of the UFC fighters out there. I can guarantee that right now. The money that YouTubers make is fucking ridiculous. I remember when Fuzi made a tape saying that he was getting $300,000 a month, and that YouTube should not be paying YouTubers that. Well, YouTube listened to that, and they ended up cutting YouTubers' pay right down the middle. But let's continue this interview here. This just fucking blows my mind.
I don't know. The thing is, if McGregor takes this fight with one of the Pauls, McGregor's going to get a lot of shit. People are going to look down on McGregor for, like, fighting opponents that are just... They're not equivalent.
No, and it wouldn't be fair. It would never be allowed to happen. First off, it's just different levels. Like Meek Mill says, like you hear all the time, there's levels to this shit. Volkan Oezdemir wasn't even able to do shit to DC. And I know that's way different, but Volkan has a lot of experience. Could you imagine what would happen to Logan Paul in his high school wrestling background? Because he's athletic? Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit right now. Roll it.
To his talent or whatever, right? Like, I'm telling you right now, this is just a stupid publicity stunt by the Pauls. And I'm here talking about it, so there's your publicity.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Logan Paul KSI fight. It is coming up very soon, and Logan Paul has a new sparring partner. Logan Paul tweeted, I wonder if Joe Weller would be down to spar while I'm in training in it.
And let me end the video there because obviously there's not going to be any more Conor McGregor talk, but just let me say this. I am a little interested to see how Logan and Jake Paul do against KSI and Deji. I am not going to lie about that. I'm not saying I'm going to buy the pay-per-view, and people are saying this is the biggest internet pay-per-view of all time. And I'm not. I believe that. I really do, because the generation below me, everyone knows who Logan and Jake Paul are. These people, they go sick for the Paul brothers. Team 10, Disney Channel. I had no idea who these guys were until earlier this year. Honestly, I didn't know who Fuzi was. I didn't know who any Adam 22. But I'll tell you what, I'm on board. I'm enjoying every second of it, and I have no issue reporting when they call out one of our UFC fighters, especially the champ. With that being said, guys, Conor McGregor has his plate full right now. He he could entertain the idea, and it probably would be a good idea, because just them saying that is getting kids that don't know who Conor McGregor is. Now they're going to be like, oh, who's Conor McGregor? Oh, he must be the UFC star. Well, if you don't have Xbox and PlayStation kids, yeah, Conor McGregor's pretty big. Pretty big deal. And Logan Paul, Keemstar was right. You would die inside the octagon. But I will entertain the idea of maybe having a CM Punk fight. And I know that everyone's against it. No one wants to see an 0-1 fighter. No one wants to see an 0-0 fighter, especially with no amateur background. But I would not be surprised if somehow the UFC does entertain this idea somehow. I really wouldn't be surprised. We are back again with another very special guest. We got Andres Esparza joining us. What's going on, Andres?
How's it going, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I mean, I kind of told you what's been going on with me with the spider bite and the swollen glands and all that. So I'm doing all right here, but there was nothing going to hold me back from getting this interview done with you.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad I'm talking to you today.
The real question, though, is how are you doing, man? I mean, you recently had the fight. How are you holding up right now?
I'm all right, man. It's just a little bitter pill to swallow. I made a mistake and got caught in my title fight in MMA last Sunday. And, just something that's well on for 24 hours. But I'm back to the gym. I'm back in training, and I'm ready to come back stronger.
So obviously this went down for IFS 37 Sunday against Johnny Robles. But you know what, man? You've never lost a fight until this moment. So this is a pretty new experience for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's an eye-opener, and it's something that's just going to make me work harder, Definitely taking that first loss in MMA is, something that I didn't want to, go through. But, everybody has those bumps, down the road, and it's just going to make me stronger. And I know I'm going to come back hungrier, and I know the rematch with Johnny Robles is going to be completely different.
And you're like a Muay Thai guy, so it goes without saying that after you guys ended your fight, you probably had a couple of tacos together, hung out? Or what happened after the fight?
I actually didn't see him after the fight. I'm a good sport about it, though. I'd like to have some tacos. After that would have been fine with me.
Yeah, man, I always see that you get really upset if you don't have a taco on Taco Tuesday. Is that something that you do literally every Tuesday? You have tacos on Tuesdays?
Monday through Friday is Taco Tuesday to me, man. When I'm not on a diet, I eat tacos daily.
I even saw you're like, on Valentine's Day, you were like, oh, I don't have a Valentine, but it's okay because I got tacos at least. It's like, man, this guy likes his tacos.
You ain't got a Valentine's Day, but you got some tacos, and it's just as good.
See, like over here on the East Coast, I mean, there's a bunch of taco places, but there's one place that has like a strip of like those food carts, and it's literally flooded every week. Do they have that in SoCal? Do they have food trucks in SoCal like that where they line the roads?
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're walking down the street, and there'll be a taco bar on every corner. That's how it is. Here, especially right here in LA County, there's taco trucks everywhere.
So after you had this fight, what did your coach Felipe Ramos say to you? How are you guys going about this? What's the next step to take?
He just wants me to recover, take about a week off, and just recap on my mistake and stuff. We studied the video already, and noticed the mistake that I made, and we're just gonna grow from that. And we're just going to go right back into training, work on a few different things. It ended up being that I was a better grappler than Johnny Robles. And, I felt that I could out-grapple him and wrestle him, but the game plan was to keep the fight standing. And, now that I know that I can out-grapple him, the second fight is going to be a lot different. I'm going to mix it up now and not just worry and depend on just my striking where, I'm just going to mix it up on the guy and be unpredictable and, have a surprise for him.
Is that what you're trying to do here? You're trying to get a rematch against Johnny Robles? Obviously, he's holding the belt.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely in my near future. I think I'm going to have maybe a fight or two just, to have me, stay active. And then after that, I'm coming right back for that rematch with him because there's no way that'll happen again.
So right now, it's August 10th. When do you think you're going to make a return? Your coach is saying, take a week off. But what's on your mind? When do you think you're going to be able to return?
Well, I have my promoter, Al Rodriguez, from Iron Shin Muay
Yes,
Thai.
big shout out to him.
Yeah, big shout out to Al. You know, he's a real great guy. He actually has me in the works right now talking to a couple matchmakers, and one of them is King of the Cage, and we're looking at October, mid-October. I'm not sure exactly what the date is, but I think it's the 27th. I'm not too sure, but if, you know, me and my coach agree to it, and I'm back into training healthy, you know, which looks like it, you know, that's when we'll get the show going again, back on the 27th of October.
And you know what? Now with Dana White's using a Contender Series and, you know, all the hype that Ultimate Fighter has brought in the past couple of years, there's a lot more people that are interested in what's going on in the regional scenes around them. And you know what? King of the Cage is a huge promotion. That would be a good spot for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big venue as well with a lot of people who go and show up to that venue. It's a pretty big event. I've seen it, so it'd be good exposure and be good way to me to get my name out there and you know, put on a good show for everybody.
So on a better note here, Crazy Jay Harris is one of your boys. He recently had a fight that won. Were you able to catch that on Flow Combat? I mean, I sat ringside for it. It was a phenomenal event. Crazy Jay Harris putting on some good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. My teammate Jordan, he went and he just put on a one-sided, like kind of whoop ass over on the east side. But you know, he did good, man. You know, just being humble about it. You know, just he's a good sport. He always comes and he trains hard, and he's a respectful guy. And you know, he went out and he just showed who had the harder work ethic, that fight camp. You know, and he came and he showed it to his opponent. You know, the game plan, and he stuck to it, and it all came out, you know, and worked out like the way it was supposed to. Came out on top.
And you know what? He came all the way from SoCal, from your area, to the East Coast in somebody else's backyard pretty much, which, you know, in my book is facing adversity. You're making yourself uncomfortable, which is something that's going to help you develop as a professional fighter when you make it to, you know, a bigger stage. And Lion Fight's a huge stage. And something they brought up to Jordan after the fight was, would you like to bring it back to the West Coast? So let me ask you, would you like to see Jordan back on the West Coast fighting under Lion Fight?
Definitely. I know that the talks about it being here in Los Angeles, so hopefully myself can get on that amateur card as well, because I'm excited about it too. I'd like to see my teammate and hopefully myself on there as well. So
what are you doing, man? You do MMA and Muay Thai. Are you doing anything else? Are you doing like grappling tournaments to, you know, develop the like what else are you doing here? Because it seems like you're in every area.
Yeah, I've been working on my grappling. I have a high school and college background in wrestling. And I've done some jiu-jitsu, like no gi and stuff. But my bread and butter would be striking and Muay Thai. But I do feel very comfortable when it comes to grappling. I don't ever feel uncomfortable. And, you know, I also do boxing. So, like USA boxing, amateur boxing, I jump in that too. So I compete in all three sports.
So here's my last question to you before we end today's interview. You know, in 2018, it's every promotion's really been growing. And back in the day, it used to be, what is making it in MMA? It's making it to the UFC. That was the #1 promotion. But now it kind of feels like Bellator is picking up some of that clout there. You know, is it kind of more of an even playing field? I mean, it's not there yet. But if Bellator reached out to you and was like, we want you on the main card, you know, in a year or so time, would that stand out to you, or would you wait for the UFC?
No, definitely. I'd love to, you know, fight for a promotion like Bellator as well. It's very great exposure and it's very good high-level competition, and I'd like to put myself to that test. You know, everything's about taking a risk, and, you know, I'm all about that, you know. So, you know, if there's a way that I could get on to Bellator and, you know, be successful, then from there I can grow and, you know, work my way into the UFC and earn my way to that spot.
Somebody just messaged me. They said, ask him if anyone's told him that he looks like Dylan Dennis. Has anyone ever said that to you? You look like Dylan Dennis?
I've actually gotten that before.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna put a side by side up for the thumbnail here. But listen, Esparza, before we let you go, is there any shout outs, anything at all that you want to get out on the table?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my coach Felipe Ramos and my team, Sandoval Muay Thai, and the city that you know raised me, East Palmdale, 661-93552.
Oh, and since you're from SoCal, what do you think about this whole Nate Diaz versus Dustin the Diamond? Did you catch wind of that?
With
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, oh yeah. Well, those dudes are always in funny situations that they put themselves in. So, I'm not really surprised about it.
Yeah. All right, so last but not least, Iron Shin Muay Thai. I mean, Iron Shin Promotions, they do a great job promoting you guys, and I want to give them a huge shout-out for sending you up. Listen, we got to get you on before your next fight, and hopefully it would be great if it was under King of the Cage. So let's get our fingers crossed for that, and we wish you best of skill leading up to your next training camp. Thank you for joining us here on Pure EVil MMA. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I appreciate it. Have a good day. Shout out to Al Rodriguez, Iron Shin Muay Thai. Thank you.
There you guys go. Andres Esparza. Very humble coming off of his recent fight here. He's never lost a fight ever in his pro MMA career. He gets the championship shot and he comes up short, but he's humble. I really like that. Trying to get right back into the game. He's got his sights set on Taco Tuesdays every week. I mean, come on. This guy is a character and a half. Shout out to Iron Shin, along with Jordan Harris, who is his teammate. So big things coming for that team there out in SoCal. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Pure EVil MMA. That was our second live interview of the day. We just finished our recent interview with Raufeon Stots. You can check that out down below as soon as it's done processing, at least by now. I mean, it was only like 10 minutes ago that we finished that recording. But here is number 2, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday TGIF. Guys, I'm Evil Eddie from Pure EVil MMA, mymmanews.com, and remember, without evil, there's no purity. Behave yourself.